All right, today I'm going to start what you might call a unit. It's going to be a unit that has to do with the seven churches of Revelation. Right now I'm going to do the introduction to those seven churches. They're found in chapter 1, verse 11. Let me read them to you. This is Jesus speaking. He says, "Write on a scroll what you see and send it to the seven churches." And these seven churches are Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. And this unit of seven churches actually has to do with chapter 2 and chapter 3 of Revelation. And they are what Jesus called, he told John to write down. In chapter 1, verse 19 is where he told John to write down three things, one of which was what is now. And the what is now is these churches that we're going to be talking about. As we read through the letter to the seven churches, chapters 2 and 3, we will see what the churches of the area were going through spiritually at the time John recorded the Revelation. Beyond that, we see the universal value of chapters 2 and 3 to all churches through the ages, in particular the churches of today. We think that our church puts Christ first. The churches of Revelation probably did too, but we will see that at least that all but two received a harsh criticism and rebuke from Christ. Calling yourself a Christian church does not mean that you are necessarily following Christ. Just wait until we review the apostate church of chapter 17, and you will see they call themselves Christian. Each letter is addressed to the city where the church is located. For example, Ephesus or Smyrna, whatever. And more specifically, it is addressed to the angel of that church. There are other similarities of all the churches, and here's what they are. To the city where the church is located, it's written to the angel of the church. Jesus says something as he is depicted in glory. He says, "I know," to each church. He has a criticism for most of the churches. He says, the one who has an ear must pay attention to what the Spirit says. Then there is an eschatological promise to him who overcomes, he says, or something similar to that. So that's in all of the letters. We do not know for sure why God chose these seven churches, but they are not the only churches of the area. Maybe John himself had some special relationship with these in founding or in pastoral care. Maybe these are the churches of the time which may have had the attributes God wanted to illustrate in the Revelation. There is really no way to know. However, we do know these churches are listed in the order necessary to pass the revelation from church to church. If you look on a map, I wish I had a map for you to look at, but these cities are in order. If you start at Patmos, the island of Patmos where John is recording this revelation, and the closest city to that is Ephesus, which is the first church that we're going to be talking about. Then if you go up the road, you just follow these churches all the way around. They're just listed in order, Ephesus, and then whatever that verse said, the next one will be so on. And then you go all the way around and come back all the way down to Laodicea. So it's just the way it would be if you were passing the letter. You know, we talked about that. The letter was designed to be read aloud in a church all at one time, and then it would be passed to the next church. They're in that order. If you're going to pass it, you pass to the next church. I guess you could also say one last comment I'll make is these churches are strategically located to be able to spread the letter to all of the Roman Asia, all of Roman Asia. Okay, that's all I have for the introduction. So now we're going to, in this video, we're going to start another one. We're going to start with the Church of Ephesus. Thanks a lot.